Hey, welcome to another album review, and yes, I do have another YouTube recommendation that just happens to be another like prog metal, math rock type thing. You know the drill. Basically, it's basically again the sort of like prog metal genty thing with I Build the Sky, the Zenith Rise, which again is just something that YouTube kind of recommended to me. And look, I will probably have many more of these because as much as they all sort of glue together in my mind, I don't find them to be very distinct from each other. It's just like it's sort of like my comfort food. It's stuff that I just enjoy, even to have on the background or whatever. So you can't really say no. However, I will say, like, in terms of this one, I think that alongside the other one that I reviewed a few days ago, it's probably like the closest to Pliny that we have. And For the most part, like, first of all, like, this is like 45 minutes again, it has 10 songs. All of these albums seem to like be a lot around this. It's no surprising that a lot of them actually have like features of one another in each other's albums, right? So yeah, you know the drill. But basically, yeah, like it's very like that, and I did enjoy, at least like here, I did enjoy a little bit of the diversity that the songs had. I feel that the songs, as consistent as the album is in the type of sound that it has, at the same time it does have like it sort of sometimes grabs the songs and sort of turns them on their head and stuff like that, and there is space to like sort of build ups and whatnot. So I really appreciate that, but. I mean, like it's more of the same. It's more of the same. It's literally more of the same, except the album art is not as good in my opinion. So yeah. However, and I think like, I mean, sure, I could like sit here and sort of repeat myself, or I could bring your attention to perhaps the most impressive songs on the album, which, look, yeah, again, the album's really solid and whatnot, but what I really fucking enjoyed was the last song, especially the last three. The eighth song, which is like the only way out is up. Basically, this song, it has genty parts and whatnot, but it starts very like more, toned down, and it sort of builds up until the genty parts. So it's sort of like there's this progress, as if you're going up, you know what I mean? So I really enjoyed that, but the songs that really impressed me were the two next after that. The Diamond Dust, which has features with some like I guess people that play violin and whatnot. It's mostly just an acoustic like rock song, like it's just basically it's sort of like this prog metal type thing, but it's just literally like acoustic, even like folklore type, rock. And same thing with Moonbow. It's basically these two songs are on that registry. They're pretty much just like acoustic guitar, the Diamond Dust as violin, and you have like a bit of drums, and that's pretty much. Actually, do they have drums? I don't even remember. I'm actually confused now. But yeah, basically it's very like rock than it actually is like metal or whatever, and they were by far honestly the best songs in the album. Personally, I don't think that they connected as well to the rest of the album. Like, I still think they do, because essentially the composition is very similar to the rest of the songs. You just kind of like change the instruments around, but in this case changing the instruments really makes it feel like it's so like different. And in a way, I kind of wish that the rest of the album was almost acoustic, and that everything else was because like, again, the composition of these type of albums tends to be very fun, right? There's a lot of diversity in it, and there's a lot of diversity as in like the songs actually do more than just sort of shagging along sort of in the same rhythm over and over and over, like a lot of songs, right? Obviously they're more proggy, there's way more technique involved. And I would love to like hear that more on like the folklore side of things, or like the rock side of things, like this acoustic side of things, because the last two songs really make me like fucking wonder what it would be like, because I think it would actually be a pretty killer concept, and I think that I actually be very successful at it. So I just kind of wish that perhaps the album was maybe more of that. Actually, I would have loved the album to sort of go from that transition to the other, as in like at the beginning you do have okay more the prog metal genty things, but slowly sort of like switch to be more toned down and to be more rock, right? To be more acoustic, to be more just overall toned down with a different, with a more special, less aggressive tone. I think that it would have been a really good progression to have in the album, and it would, you know, be better than just having 2 songs out of the 8 or out of the 10, sorry, that you know, are just acoustic. So I definitely did enjoy that more, especially because it was a breath of fresh air, right? And it was something that I was not expecting whatsoever. I was just expecting, you know, the entire album to be sort of in the same registry. So I was very pleasantly surprised with these two, and I definitely enjoy them way more than the rest. Again, part of it is because I also do have, to a certain degree, of fatigue over how many of these albums I've heard, and especially how much of the genre I've heard lately. Which, to be fair, it's kind of my fault. I should definitely take a break of it, but you know, at the same time, I like. There's been other genres that I've heard a lot in a row, and they were all like very, at least, distinct to a certain degree. I do feel that there's a like huge lack of just I guess diversity when it comes to the sound in this genre. Yeah, even though I was complaining yesterday about, oh yeah, like that's all I've been reviewing, and then I just fucking review it again. But yeah, as a whole, but again, like don't let that distract from the fact that it's still solid. You know what I mean? Like it's still like, I feel that if you were to find this album before all of the other ones, I feel like you would be more attached to this one than the other ones. It's sort of the same thing, and maybe that's why I keep turning to Pliny so much. Or maybe not, I think like Pliny just has something fucking extra there. I don't know, like it's extra interesting, it's like catchy. There's just something there in his music that sort of, you know, like at least to me just doesn't sound as generic, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think that also goes down to, or it's up to like the first one that you find. I would, the exception here would be Earthside, the album that I've reviewed. Sure, it's sort of in the same registry, but at the same time it's way more narrative driven, and it's an album that I've been enjoying a lot more than when I reviewed it, because of course, you know. Because outside of that, pretty much like every other albums, you know, the Four Giants and everything, I kind of like feel that if you came across them first, you would enjoy them way more than all of the other ones. But then again, that's kind of the problem. If you hear one of these albums, they all kind of sound the same. You know what I mean? And I guess that's why like people tend to say that prog just, you know, sounds the same, and all prog sounds the same, and just people like focusing on technique and stuff like that. Because yeah, in this prog, that's kind of like, I mean, not necessarily what's happening, because I can hear a lot of like the you know, difference in the songs themselves and like what vibe they want to like communicate, and definitely it's not just about the technique. But with that being said, there is definitely like a sort of oversaturation there, whereas, you know, like, because the prog that I sort of like, you know, got introduced to when it came to metal was mostly like Dream Theater and Opeth, which are bands that I still absolutely adore, right? So it's definitely like a different type of prog than this. You know, definitely there's still a lot of technique in those albums, but there's so like much diversity, because you can say the Dream Theater are prog, Opeth are prog, but people like, you know, find them very different in terms of the prog that they actually are. They both have a lot of technique, but they sound so different. Whereas here is a lot very, you know, mathcore, technique heavy prog metal, basically, right? And it has a lot of like genty elements, and it has a lot of like you know, sort of post metal elements, and that's like pretty much it. That's pretty much every single one of these albums. So yeah, but again, with all of that out of the way, I did kind of enjoy it still, you know. Like, again, it's sort of in terms of vibe meter, it's a solid 8 out of 10. That's basically what I'm feeling. I mean, again, my vibe meters are not like the most accurate thing, and they're not meant to be. They're just vibes, you know. It's basically based on vibes. But yeah, again, like, even with all of my complaints, I still enjoyed it. And again, like, I think that a lot of these albums are really good to just have on the background if you're not the type of person, because usually people put EDM on the background when they're working, right? If you're the type of person that prefers metal for some reason, I think that a lot of these albums are very competent in doing that. So yeah, but that's it for me, and I'll see you tomorrow with a new album review.